Boom, here we are, ready to go. Super excited about this episode of the Police Softball Podcast. And I don't know, we got a guest, and he was featured on the final part of that intro video. So I'm really excited about introducing these guys. I'll tell you what, I'm a little out of breath because this is live, and I forgot to do a few things. So as the intro was rolling around, man, I'm scrambling. But hey, it is what it is. I'll catch my breath here in a second. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Let me get to these. Yeah, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Before we get started, I just want to let you know that as we're broadcasting, if you let me know where you're from, man, I really would appreciate it in the comments. We've got live comments that'll be posted up on the screen. And with our guest, if you've got a question, if you've got a comment, we'll try our best to get to it. We've got a wonderful feature coming to the program here soon where you'll be able to call in and to be able to share your thoughts or your comments or memories or whatever. And it's going to be a neat feature to the show. One thing I want to do is just give a quick shout out to all the first responders that are out there doing what they're doing right now to protect life and property. Regardless of your political stance or your opinions on what's going on. Ultimately, we had these nurses that are at the front line when it came to all this COVID breakout. And right now we've got a bunch of first responders, police, fire, military, EMS that are out there, doing what they can to keep some peace and allow people to protest and have their opinions. So anyway, just want to give a quick shout out to all those first responders. Thank you for what you do. All right, so I am Trinidad. I am the coach of the San Antonio Law men's competitive softball team. We're a law enforcement softball team. I am a member of the United States, or was a member of the United States Air Force. As a 23-year veteran in law enforcement, just recently retired. Very happy. I'm a 2-time cancer survivor. I have a business called Biotex. It's a crime and trauma scene cleaning company. We are franchised in Dallas and Houston, Texas, and we're getting ready to market nationwide. So that is Biotex. And I'm also a nonprofit founder of an organization called Shields for Kids, a bunch of officers who go out and provide for kids in the community that are in need. And we put an emphasis on our off-duty time when we go out and perform these gives. A little bit about, why I'm hosting this show. I love police softball. I love the camaraderie, and we're going to get into that as we do on just about every show. We've won a couple of titles. I have won the Chevy Wright Sportsman of the Year Award in 2017. I'm really proud of that. The Pat Hill Inspiration Award, extremely proud of that one. There's Jeff and Dale. They're the founders of a circuit we're going to be talking about called policesoftball.com. And I was inducted into the Texas Police Athletic Foundation, the Hall of Fame in 2016. I was very fortunate to be nominated and ultimately allowed into the PS.com Hall of Fame in 2019. So there's a bunch of great dudes right there. Big boys right there. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, so tell you what, I'm really excited about this show. I'm excited about every show, but on this one in particular, because who doesn't in the game of softball love the home run hit? We've got a couple of home run kings that I'm going to be excited to introduce here in a second. So before I get to that, I want to make sure that you know that you can find these episodes on YouTube. And along with subscribing to my channel on YouTube, you'll find my personal brand, Trinidad. And my goal with my personal brand is to provide as much value as possible to people, turning my struggles in life into a gift for others. And that's through cancer, through business, and through my service. So we'll give you some instructions later on how to subscribe to the channel, but you can find me on YouTube. And one thing, what's up, Moses? Tuning in. Dan H, thank you very much, man, for recognizing our service. We got, let's see here, Steve Sarallo, I believe it is. And Steve wanted me to tell you, Corey, that no more babies at the World Series, at World Series time. We'll get into that later. But hey, so we do have a conference that's coming up. It's called the International Keepers of the Peace First Responders Conference. It's April 12th through the 14th next year. It's in San Antonio, Texas. It's at the beautiful Hyatt Regency off the Riverwalk downtown, just steps off the Riverwalk. It's a badass conference with badass breakouts. And you'll see what we mean later on by that. We've got a Keepers of the Peace podcast you can tune into. I can tell you this. I guarantee you when you walk into this conference, you will not walk out the same person. I can promise you that. So it's going to be a wonderful conference, and you can find that page also. I think, what is it? Deanna, Carly, can you bring up that? In a second, we'll bring it up where you can find that. So we'll get on with the show. I'm excited to introduce my first guest. This guy is a part of the Beaufort County Sheriff's Department. I'll translate that. Beaufort County Sheriff's Department, but I like to say it like this: Beaufort County Sheriff's Department. This dude belongs to the Mid-Atlantic Lawmen. He's had an unbelievable year in 2017. He is a major division World Series champion with this team, Mid-Atlantic. He is the 2017 East Conference Player of the Year. 2017 East Conference Player of the, I said that one, East Con. So the Majors Division champion, East Conference Player of the Year, World Series MVP in that same year, and also the Home Run Derby champion in 2017. All four of those things, man. It's crazy. He also won the Home Run Derby contest in 2019 at the PS.com Home Run Derby. So he's been 12 years on that department, and I'm going to say Beaufort County Sheriff's Department. I want to welcome Corey Rogerson to the show. What's going on, Corey?
Oh, you did well, man. You did well. Beaufort.
Oh, man. Beaufort. There you go. Yeah, man. I'll tell you what, it's not a secret in this circuit, who you and my next guest are. I can tell you that it's a big honor for me in particular because, I got an opportunity to, of course, see you play. You were down at the Texas Showdown, like we talked about before. I didn't get a chance to watch as many games play, but I do remember you, especially in my first couple of years of going out to the World Series. So I love not only seeing you and your ability to hit that long ball, but also your ability to switch it up and do what you need to do for your team. And I really admire that about you and our next guest coming up, man. So I appreciate you being here, man. I like the hat.
I think the honor's all mine.
Thank you, man. Yeah, man. That's where I'm coming from. So, hey, Corey, do us a favor real quick. Just, give us a little rundown briefly on where Beaufort is. Where's that at, man?
It's North Carolina. We're about an hour and a half from the beaches of North Carolina. Sports fans, ECU Pirates. I don't know if anybody knows them. I'm about 20 minutes east of them. For some of you guys, it's definitely a smaller agency, but we're one of the top 5 biggest counties in the state, so we got a lot of area to cover. But I enjoy it. I love my agency I work for, and it's been a good time. Steve, I'm sorry about my timing. I'll work on that.
Yeah, man. So I'm excited to have you on. We're going to be talking about all things when it comes to hitting that long ball. So I really appreciate you being here for us. Monica Huizar, thank you so much for tuning in. I do appreciate that. And she wants to thank and recognize all those first responders. Her husband's out there holding that line also for us. So our next guest is, he is a deputy probation officer out of Los Angeles County. This dude I saw in my second year of being at the World Series in the Home Run Derby contest, and man, this dude launched them. And so, I remember what I remember about this dude is not only after he hit the ball, he was all hyped up. A couple seconds afterwards, he was, pumped, chest was out, shoulders, chest is still out, shoulders still big. But I mean, he hit that one, and it was cool though because he had that smile, man. The way that he smiled when he got done hitting that long ball, man, it was cool. I was like, all right, that dude, he's not so. I bet you he's a big teddy bear, man. But he hits the hell out of the ball. So he's with the DEA Lawmen. what is special about both Corey and my next guest is they are multiple winners of the Home Run Derby contest, 2014 and in 2016. Lou Velazquez is the Home Run Derby champ, man, and I want to thank you, Lou, for being on the show today, man. Thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's an honor.
Yeah, man. I like the way you're representing in the background. Yeah, man, that's pretty cool. You know, what's interesting is that when I have all these guys from the circuit on the show, it's like pulling teeth to get you guys to tell me anything about any accolades or anything like that. But I do mean what I say when you have a very cool personality, like you're real laid back and it's easy, but you sure do see that switch when you come to game time, man. And so it was cool when I saw you with that smile and I saw the way you're handling yourself afterwards. Both neither one of you or Corey have attitude. And that's one of the things I really like about you guys, outstanding players, but I don't see that attitude. And I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. So we're going to jump right into it. One of the things I wanted to talk about with you guys, obviously we're talking about the home run kings, right? That's what you guys are. And I know you guys won't refer to yourselves as kings, but let's check out this picture of Corey. Because, man, when they give you some cool duds like that, when you win the Home Run Derby champ, you got a crown and you are a king. And that is a cool trophy. What's that trophy about, man? What is it? I know it's a crown.
Yeah, it's a crown, and only the winners get to sign the crown. So that's pretty cool. I wish they'd let us keep that belt, though.
Oh, you don't get to keep it?
They're stingy with the belt.
We got one. Oh, that's where I'm coming from.
Right, that's the same belt.
Yeah, man, that is very cool. Yeah, so that crown, how many signatures does it have on it? Do y'all know?
Oof. I don't know when they started. Do you, Lewis?
I think they started 15 or maybe even that year 16. It wasn't there on 14.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I like that. So we're going to jump right into it. One of the things that we love to talk about is, of course, the game, the strategies, the mindset, things of that sort. And one of the things I want to just get right into it is what is y'all's mindset when you step up to the plate, and obviously you guys are those, guys are the ones that can launch that ball. What's the difference in your mindset when it comes to hitting in a home run derby as opposed to hitting in a game time situation? Obviously you can do both, but there's a different mindset. What are differences in your mindset?
You want to go ahead, Corey?
It doesn't matter. To me, it's a big difference. Home run derby, you get up there, you know what you're going to get for the most part. As long as you got a good pitcher, he's gonna toss them where you want him to, and then it's your job just to really get underneath the ball and hit it out. In the game, it switches up every at bat. I know we talked about it. It's up to the pitcher. The pitcher can change your at bat, your mentality, your approach. But you got to get into the box, with that approach and the mindset of what you want to do and what pitch you're really looking for, and hope you get it. And then, it's all up to the production from there.
Hey, Lou, you there? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I think personally, it depends on the, how many bumps you still have. 1, 2, the situational hitting, depending how many runners there's on, who's hitting in front of you, behind me, how many outs, what part of the game it's at, how far behind or ahead you are. It's all on situational. If he's, what type of pitches he's throwing, or if he's consistent or not. There's a bat, so you go up there, you're going to take a pitch no matter what. There's a bat, so if you see one, that's probably going to be the only one you're going to get to hit that's hittable. You just go with the pitch. I think earlier in the game, depending on the lineup and the situation, you're probably trying to keep it in more. The hardest part is the most disappointing part is the solo bomb and try to keep it away from it. So I think you're more earlier in the game to try to go up or middle and try, and depending on the situation. And I think you open up your swing more once there is runners on or given the situation. As far as you're going to get a consistent pitch for the most part. The most important person in the home run derby is actually the pitcher, and his consistency drives your consistency in hitting it. Again, situations there, and then you're going to open up a little bit more with bases with nobody on during the game as well. So it's all situational depending on the runners on base, how many outs, and what part of the game you are. So now if you're down 1 run or 2 runs and the bottom of the 7, there's nobody on, well, and you have 6 bunts to hit, then who cares? So it just depends on how many home runs you have left, and also trusting your guys. I think we're both very fortunate to have guys on our teams that could win the home run derby every year as well.
Right.
So that's a commodity to have. So you trust that. I used to take pride in leading the team in walks before. I didn't care. It's not not about pride or ego or I hit the game-winning home run. Shit, if I could get the game-winning walk, I'll take that too.
That's right.
Absolutely.
No doubt. I think that's a big thing that you mentioned. Surrounding yourselves, your guys in your lineup that can hit it just as good as you can. So I do the same thing. I try to pride myself in not leading the team in home runs. I don't want to do that. I want to let my other guys free swing. To me, in my mindset, I just want to get on base and be an RBI for those guys. And if the time comes, then you got to pump up every now and then.
Yeah, man. What I like about what both of y'all said is, and again, like I admire, you see it on just about every team. I mean, there are those situations where you have guys who are like, I'm a frustration home run when you don't have very many left and you're down by 8 or something. You can see that, but you really, in these top tier teams, you really see a lot of discipline. And especially when that a dude, maybe he's leading off the inning, but you're down by 6 and it's like, man, I'm not using it. I'm going to do what I need to do. And if you were to make an out, the rest of the team's going to go, hey, look, man, I mean, we know what you were trying to do. And then there are other times where they're like, dude, take it. We can't take them home. Just take it. We'll work out the rest of it later, But on that big stage, I mean, there's a little bit of extra pressure, I think, when you're a part of a team where you're one of only maybe 2 guys that can really hit it out. And I think it's a good point that you're talking about, Lou, when you have that comfort, and I know, Corey, your team's got it also, where you got that comfort, like the pressure's just not all on you. And I think that once you say that makes it a little easier when you come up
without a doubt. Without a doubt. Just like you said, trusting the guy behind you, knowing he can get the job done just as easy as you can. Yeah, we might have a home run derby, but our teams are loaded with guys that can hit it out. So it's really no pressure at all. Like I said, it's your job to get on base and let them do the work.
Yeah, man. Well, look, real quickly, we're gonna show, because I think it's important to show what you guys can do. So we're gonna start with Corey first. Let's show a little video of what Corey was capable of. Damn. And can we watch it one more time? This effortless, man. Damn, I love that. And what I love is when you hear those reactions, because we're all sitting there in the crowd, and when one of you guys hit that ball like that, we're all going like, oh shit, man. Everybody gets like a little kid in a candy store, man. Everybody gets all excited on that. And just to follow it up, let's show Lou. Let's show what Lou's done on some of his. It's good. Damn. Come on, one more time for me.
That might have been a net clear.
Oh man, one more time for me. I'm asking for it. Let's do it. Now, this is what I love, and I want y'all to comment. Look at this rocking of the bat. I'm curious because both of y'all do it. Love that rhythm. I think somebody in the background goes, Jesus. Hey, man. So let me ask you real quickly on those hits. So Michael McMorrow says Lou can hit as many bombs as he wants. It's on the rest of us to adjust our big guys and keep it in. Yeah. Hey, well, look, when you guys have that rocking, do you guys do that when you're actually in a game? Or is that more of a rhythm kind of thing because you can predict it? Or is that
You're feeling it.
I do it in the game. I don't know about Lou, but I definitely do it. It's a timing thing for me. I've always done, but it's just helps me keep my timing.
Yeah, it definitely helps. Just like you said, timing. Just I think you weigh the bat back and forth. Not like Gary Sheffield, but when you're in the zone, like we talked earlier before we got on, it's you're feeling. It's almost like you're dancing up there. You're more relaxed. Yeah. And like you said, timing and even timing with taking a pitch, it feels better when you're just moving your hands or busy hands. You don't want to overdo it because then you're going to miss everything or roll over. But yeah, it's definitely not secrets, but for a pitcher, if you see us dancing, the more it's probably more relaxed, and it's probably going to be a bad pitch.
Yeah, that's a great point, man. Because you can tell when somebody's up there and they're moving around, and you're like, oh, dude, that guy is feeling it. He's confident. He's feeling good. And then you got, I know I've been up there at points where the game's on the line. I'm like, oh shit, let's go, let's do this. But I'm more anxious, not really as loose or relaxed. And that's what I noticed in both of y'all's swing. Yeah, man. Yeah,
so secretly, you're nervous every time you get into the batter's box. At least I am. It might not show, but you got butterflies, especially out there in Vegas, man. Like you said, that's the big stage. You got people watching. The home run derby is ridiculous. If you get into the finals, you just get pumped up, man. It's like you just took some protein, some pre-workout or something. So out there.
Yeah. The Dan Potter's comment on a few, and Dan said, "Hey Lou, was that the year they waited for you?"
I think all three they had to wait. No, that was the one they didn't. Yeah, we were playing at the same time that the derby was going. So yeah, I don't remember. I think they did that one too. I think all three of them they had to wait.
Really?
Yeah, that was playing at the same time.
Yeah. Terry Dugan, what's up, Terry? Terry says Freak 23 and El Presidente were no jokes.
And there's no doubt that El Presidente was on fire. That was probably one of the hottest bats I've ever swung at the World Series.
And Terry knows about those bats, man.
That's right. Locked down.
That's what I'm talking about. It's a way to represent. Hey, look, one of the things I love about the World Series is that it's a bat-provided tournament. And I know that my first year when I went up there, I remember thinking, yeah, there you go. That's in Las Vegas. That's our big circuit. If you don't know, it's in October. There's 60 something to 70 something teams that are allowed in. And, it is like Corey said, that's the big stage, and you got your game. You think you got your game locked down until you get up there for the first time and you realize under the bright lights with everybody looking, it switches you up a little bit. It takes a little getting used to. But when we're talking about, what was it? I lost my train of thought. I was telling you guys about the hits. Oh, so with the hits, when you're out there and you're getting ready to step up to the plate and you're getting ready to face a pitcher, since you guys are home run hitters, what makes you look at a pitcher and go, damn, this dude, all right, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge here. What makes that for you guys as heavy hitters, as big hitters, what makes you think about like, man, I gotta be on my game. This dude knows what he's doing.
Go ahead, Corey.
There's a bunch of good pitchers out there. But you get out there and you face one of the pitchers that's, moving all over the place, pumping left and right, pumping. You got a time that they have to pitch within, and they're, sometimes using the whole time limit, sometimes pitching on the first pump, and you just, they got a good knuckleball, or curve ball or something like that, or Biscuit's case, he can make it curve every way there is. But, you just, you get up there, you got to lock in. I mean, it's like a challenge, and you got to get up there and get it done. So it's always a good battle when you're facing one of the top tier pitchers.
I think the ones that are consistent and are confident with that consistency and have different pitches, that they'll throw it. I mean, they'll throw a knuckleball with 3-2, and they're not scared. Just like a major league pitcher wouldn't be scared. They're just confident, and they're confident with their consistency. So they don't care if bases loaded, 3-2 count. They'll throw you whatever they feel they can dominate you with. But consistency, I think, just like they would look at a batter the same way. They're probably looking. It's a battle. It's like a chess game. Who's the most consistent? Who do you think is going to be able to perform at the highest level and in one of the most stressful situations? And also, I mean, if they could field it on top of that, I mean, there's some pitchers that are really good at hitting that outside corner with a lot of movement. So as a hitter, that's the ball. The ball's going to go right back at him. But if he's going to field it every time, where they're 5-man, like we talked earlier, he's going to field it. It's kind of like, damn, he's spreading me out now. Right. He's forcing me to go up or hit a solo bomb.
Yeah, because it's a great points that you guys are bringing up. Because I know, as soon as I see a pitcher and I'm like, dude, this guy, you better take it when you can get it. Because this dude's going to move it. He's going to move it around, and he can throw it. He can throw that strike when he needs it. So it definitely ups your attention and makes you go up there with a little more of a purpose than if you had maybe a pitcher maybe doesn't have as much experience, and it's like, all right, he's got one or two kind of deliveries, and that's it, Yeah.
So these guys know you too. So I mean, you're not getting up there and facing these guys for the first time. Just like they know, what you want to do in the box, and they're going to try to throw the opposite, depending on, like we said earlier, where base runners are. They can almost guess our mindset. Us getting into the box, we got to know what they're going to do, and what pitches they have, and kind of what to expect. What's their norm? What do they normally try to do to us? But then, I mean, they know us just as good as we know them. So that's what makes it fun and makes it more challenging.
So we talked about these pitchers, and Corey, you talked earlier about being locked in. So tell me, when you're feeling it, when you're locked in, there's not a whole lot, I don't know, that a pitcher can do when you're really feeling it. Lou talked about it earlier, where like the softball looks that big, right? And I mean, you like that when you're locked in. I think that the field looks like just wide open. It looks like there's this, I mean, it doesn't matter where you stand. When you're feeling it, you're in that zone. But I also like a pitcher when I see that dude in the zone, because, man, you can tell that dude's feeling it. He's bouncing. He's feeling good. He's laughing. He's joking. That's what worries me when I see a pitcher or a batter, when they're just loose, like we talked about earlier. When you're locked in like you are in those home run derbies, especially, do you feel like when you come up to play after that, when you won the home run derby, did you turn around like the rest of the tournament, just flying high, just feeling like, oh hell yeah? Or did you still have those? Or did you still have those kind of like, I don't know?
Well, I mean, you get a little confidence boost, and then if people are watching your game, maybe they think that you can't hear them, but you get in the batter's box, you can still hear people talking, and they make comments like, "Oh, this is a guy that wants to watch the home run derby." Watch this, and then you're like, "Oh man, now I got to do something." Lou, you know what I'm talking about.
yeah.
When you get in the box against one of those tough pitchers, when you're locked in, maybe pitchers will say different, but when you're really locked in like that, I don't think there's a whole lot that a pitcher can do. If you're driving it both ways, if you're turning on the ball, hitting it well, if you're hitting backside gaps, right field line, for doubles and triples, it's fun. It's the fun part of the game. But I think pitchers can definitely throw you off if they get you off on your time, and if they get you out on your front foot a little bit, then they win the battle, and it happens. But it's still coming underhand. So I think batters, win for the most part in that area.
I agree. Yeah, especially like you said, once you're locked in, especially you do have a you do have a sense of you come in a little more confident, like you said. It could be in a bat before the derby, or it could be during the derby. But you're locked in, especially if you're squaring up the ball and not just hitting 301-foot shots. If you know you're squaring it up, you can feel it. You can feel it and hear it as soon as you make contact in the derby. And when it comes to the game, it's the same. But also, I feel with the times that I've squared up better in the derby, I actually have better back control during the game for whatever reason. I'm squaring it up, not just you're not really worried about launch angle, which I think a lot of people have a misconception that it's all about launch angle. At least experience is I think when you're trying to do it, try to hit it out as far as you can. It's not gonna you're gonna hit maybe 25% of those 2 out of 10 pitches. I think when you're squaring it up, you're just getting under it or cutting it or either getting a little backspin. But when you're squaring it up, it's easier to transfer that approach to the game, and then you're squaring it up all sides of the field. It doesn't happen every time, but I think if you do come out of the derby, either the finals or you get further in, it's like I take it as BP at first when I started. This is just extra BP. But I know your teammate was Clark. Jesus, when we went at it, that guy they did exit. God, that guy had to be at 112, 115 when he was hitting those shots.
That was a good battle to watch, man. That was a fun one.
Yeah, if there was no fence, I think he would have won it because the fence kind of stopped him. So that guy
he cuts the ball like I've never seen, man. He almost hops at it. I don't know how he does it. I can't. That's not. It's just not my swing. But man, when he cuts that ball, I feel sorry for those third basemen. Good gracious.
Yeah, I would never play third against him. And he's only like 6'9". And he cuts it like the skinny triple hitting guys. He cuts the ball like no other.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about squared away, can you define that for us? And then, I know you guys are talking about cutting, but just for those that maybe don't understand what that is.
Go ahead, Luke.
So me personally, squaring up on the ball from the feeling, and I guess if you look at the swing, you're hitting it right in the middle, right in the middle of the ball. You're not getting under it too much, just maybe a little bit under, but you're not getting under it where it's a long pop-up that ends up going out 301 feet, 310 feet. When you square it up, it's a line drive that's still rising past the fence, in my opinion, or it goes straight into the fence, like your teammate does a lot. I think that, and you can feel it as soon as you make contact. Sometimes you roll over and you hit a line drive that kind of dies in the outfield. Knuckleball. If you hit a knuckleball consistently, I feel that's squaring it up. Just hitting right in the middle of the ball, and you feel the contact and it's coming out. That's when the exit velocity, I think, when you square up the ball. And if you end up getting a little bit under, then you get that backspin, and it's gonna take off forever. But I think if you square it up right, the ball's still rising when it passes the fence.
Yeah, that's a knuckleball. That's what I was gonna say. If you start hitting some knuckleballs, that's squaring the ball up just as as square as you can hit it.
Yeah.
From my experience, my best home runs, I cut it a little bit. A little bit of backspin. Yeah, I don't know if y'all play golf, but it's almost like hitting a golf ball. You get that backspin and it rises. So when you cut the ball, just not too much. Obviously, you're gonna pop up to the shortstop or second baseman or something like that, but if you cut it a little bit, square it up, but cut a little bit. I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe, and unless you get out there and do it.
Yeah.
I guess it would be like hitting the ball with an axe.
Yeah.
If you're gonna hit the ball with an axe, you're gonna try to cut it in half with a little bit of an angle. You're gonna square it up in the middle, kind of like make a yin yang stand out of it. I know, like you were saying, some when you hit knuckleballs. Me personally, when I think the hardest or even it's probably would have traveled the furthest is when I try to go in regular ball, not in police softball, but when I try to go middle and I just get a little too excited and just get just a little bit under it, square it up, and the ball takes off. And then my boy's like, "What were you trying to do?" It's like, "Well, I was actually trying to go middle." He's like, "God, I'm glad you didn't," but it's not. Yeah. It's just trying to square it up is all.
Yeah. Well, let's bring that screen back up real quick, Lou, and take a look at this. I'm curious, Corey, when you talk about like an extension, I know that's always been a problem of mine. I don't really extend on that ball very well, like hands out. But you can see here in this illustration with Lou on here, you can see where he's full extension is what it looks like on his arms. Lou, you can see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Corey, you get that full extension. Do most home run hitters? Is that like a key part of it?
I don't think my swing is that pretty. That's a good couple shots of it. Now it does look like your ankle was broken that third picture, but
You know what's crazy? I get that a lot, and I didn't even know I did that until told me. I get that a lot.
Mine would be black and blue. No, but I think getting your arms extended is a huge part of the swing. To me, you know, the techniques of it. I like quick hands. I can't swing a heavy bat. If I feel slow, I just feel real sluggish through the zone. So to me, I swing a 26-ounce bat. I pride myself on just having quick hands. The guy that was Greg Cannell that was there in 2019, he hit some monsters. He's got some of the quickest hands I've ever seen. So to me, that's important. Obviously, you know, your timing and everything, but getting your arms extended like he did in those pictures definitely gets you around on the ball.
Now, how do you guys hold that bat? So you got, you know, people talk knuckles to knuckles, people overlap, you know, what do y'all do? How do y'all hold that bat?
Mine's pretty boring. Mine's kind of like an old baseball swing. So I don't know if you can see it.
So I'm talking about, it's a home run derby king right there with a bat right next to his computer.
From your area. Have you heard of it?
Nah.
They're from Texas. But anyways, I put my pinky right on the knob kind of, and then I put my pinky like that.
Oh man, I've tried that.
I can't, you know, some guys do this whole no, I can't do that. I'll throw the bat in the outfield. But it's just like one little pinky. You know, if I get down, you know, a good grip on the bat, use a lot of spray tack. But
yeah,
to me, that's my grip.
I think it helps to have those big ass fingers and hands that you got also, because I tried to do that, but I might have to swing a 24-ounce or something with a, I don't know. But Lou, what do you? Oh, really?
I think I saw 20. What?
Holy smokes! What do you got, Lou? How do you hold it?
I actually switched up a couple years back. I used to do the traditional line up the knuckles like they tell you in, you know, baseball, and it worked especially in game situations where you have to spray the field. You got to keep your hands, you know, inside the ball. Now I switched up, but a couple years ago I'm overlapping just the last two fingers, kind of closer to not the pinky, just the last two fingers. And then I really, even when I did the traditional, my left palm was the knob was in the middle of the palm. Luckily, they sell those little taper rubber things that go over the knob now, so I don't have a blister the whole time. So I'll have
I'm trying to feel what you're doing, what you're talking about.
See, yeah, I have my bat rack, but I don't feel like walking over there. But yeah, so it would be the knob would be here, and then the bat obviously, and then just overlap the last the two fingers. I mean, I can't do the whole hand like Helmer. That guy does like almost the opposite. But yeah, it's just it extends the bat and it just gets it's that flick a little better. But still working on it. It's been like a year, no, like 2 years.
I think it's all a comfort thing, honestly. Whatever you feel comfortable with. There's no one set way that's better than the others. You know, whatever you feel best in the box and gives you the most confidence.
Orders open up. I'm coming back from my title. We've got Dustin featured in our Good Cop Bad Cop video also. And Steven, thanks for joining us, Stevie. Yeah, man. Ryan Coe said Lou should never go middle.
I thought you said earlier you pitch inside. I saw that.
Yeah. Paul, what's going on, Paul? Paul Chavez Jr. says Corey just likes knobs. That's what. Yeah, man. James Rosas, how's it going, brother? That's from my backyard right there, and we're trying to get those guys to go up to the World Series. I know that you know the reason that I think it's important the way you hold it, if I'm not mistaken, as far as this bat when you're hitting those, is the turnover. Is that right? Is that what you're trying to do? Is roll the wrist over, or what do you think's that secret with the way you hold it?
Keep your hands inside the ball.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
The rollover should be after.
Right. The rollover is kind of on the follow through, which I think I don't do a two-hand follow through. To me, that stiffens me up and doesn't let me torque my hips and stuff quick enough. But Yeah, that's on the follow through. Like you said, it helps you keep your hands inside of it, but at the same time getting extended.
Yeah. I know that when it comes to working on it, you got to put in the work. I mean, let's talk about like when you're putting in the work, what does that look like for you, man? When you're training, I know that Corey's got, a little wit that's came around 19 months ago. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, look at him.
Yeah. It's a future home run derby. That's right.
I don't know. I don't think I'm going to let him get in law enforcement.
Not anymore, huh?
I love my profession, but not for my son.
Yeah. When family comes in and, it takes some time up, but I mean, let's talk about like when you're really training, to hit that long ball and you're going and, you got to train some when I would think when you're going into that home run derby, you want to be in it. What's that look like for you? What's that training look like?
It keeps you busy. When I was playing nonstop, law enforcement ball, civilian ball, league ball, doing it all. I was taking BP a couple times a week on top of playing league ball, a couple different leagues. It was always getting the reps in. I think the biggest thing on BP, definitely BP is important, but I think guys get out there and they take 50, 60 swings, each session or, each at bat without switching it up. And to me, I found that if I get out there and start taking too many reps, I start getting myself in bad habits. I get tired. I start dropping my hands, dropping my shoulder too much. So BP is important, but it's also important to, minimize the swings. That way you're getting good swings and not just a bunch of repetitions.
I jump in. Yeah, I think quality swings. No, your quality swings are important. You don't want to, like I say, you don't want to overdo it. I have a buddy that plays a lot of ball as well, and he happens to be a pitcher. So we have a routine. We do like 15 oppo, we switch it up. I'll pitch to him, and then 15 middle, switch it up, and then 15 pull, switch it up, and then it's just an open round, either 15 to 20, and that's when I work a little bit more on the long ball. But all the ones that were working the 3 rounds before that, it's trying to get gaps and line drives onto each one of the sides. And I can tell him, but you can tell, and I tell him to tell me, you see my hands dropping, then we're just we're taking too many reps. That's enough. We'll go down the street from the we can just go down the street to the park. But yeah, I just definitely believe that taking too many swings creates bad habits for sure. And that's just, exhaustion and your hands start dropping and just because you hit a bomb by luck or just missing it, that's not what you want to practice or keep consistent. I think if you can keep a solid, maybe, again, anywhere from 60 to 70 swings in a full session, like 4 rounds, to handle it, because you start getting blisters, and I don't feel good either. No. But yeah, like Corey said, at one point we were doing twice a week, and then now, family, and then you grow up a little bit. You can't just be out there on the softball field every weekend like we used to be. If I can get out there once a week, I'm good. I mean, I'd like to, but sometimes it's not possible. And even tee work works.
I was just going to ask about that. What about tee work? Do y'all do much of that, or?
It's hard because it's not fun. I got a net. I got tons of stuff ready for tee work, and I've used it twice in the backyard. And now it's like I got to get back out there to at least to motivate my son. So we'll see. I can
honestly say I don't think I've ever hit a softball from the tee. And to me, I just don't get that. I'd rather go out there and see live pitching. And I was going to hint on that too. If you got a good BP pitcher, have them mix it up. Throw some knuckleballs in there. Obviously get you a good round. That way you get confident and comfortable in there. But mix in the curveballs if you can throw it. Mix in the knuckleballs. That helps get you game ready too.
Studon Biggin, I think is what it's called. It says overlap equals longer bat, more whip, less control. That's what they say. Jason Brennan says, Big Lou, that's my teammate.
Talking about good pitchers. Jesus.
What makes him a good pitcher, man?
Consistent.
Yeah.
Consistent. He's not afraid. I know there was a lot of gibberish going on last year about his approach, but he's on my team, so I don't mind it.
Never mind, he's on your team, right?
He changes it up, and he can pump 25 times in a row, still throw a strike, goes behind the back, and And you know what? I think with him, one, his confidence. Two, he's having a lot of fun out there. Like he's literally having fun, which I think is very important. Any position you play, but he has fun and he's consistent, and that's all that matters. I think at this point.
That's right. That's what it's all about. Getting out there and having fun, man. If you can get out there and have a good time, and yeah,
can't take it serious.
It'll be the smack talk, but that's all in the nature of the game, and that makes it even more fun, And then afterwards, drop it, go get a beer in the inside and watch some games.
Oh yeah.
We were talking about that earlier where, we're going to have an episode coming up here soon where we're going to have, police softball, a family's perspective. And I want to bring on some families because my family has grown up around the ballpark and in particular law enforcement softball. And one thing I absolutely love about law enforcement softball is when I get to go to one of these tournaments, we're going to be playing this Saturday. It's our first one day of the year. And it makes it difficult because of, all the guys that are being deployed right now and, for the situation. I don't know if we'll probably have maybe 7 guys, 8 guys I'm going to have to pick up. But for me, going to a law enforcement softball tournament and having the ability to have my kids, saying, hey, do I get to go? I want to go to this one because it's law enforcement and they love the environment. Everybody's saying hi. They're high-fiving the kids as they roll by. It's just a certain type of camaraderie, a certain environment that I really look forward to. I mean, you guys both played civilian ball before you played law enforcement softball. I mean, what are your feelings on that? Mm-hmm.
It's not even close to being the same. I dropped civilian ball. I try to keep it up for a few years, but there's no way to play both. And hands down, I'm choosing law enforcement, police softball. Yeah, there's my wife.
I'm talking about.
It makes it a lot better when family can get out there. There's been some years that she hadn't been able to go, and it's just it's fun. Don't get me wrong. You see all your friends and stuff that you don't get to see all the time, but it's definitely more special when your family's out there.
Yeah,
get old enough so he can fly out.
Yeah, shout out to Meredith. Except for what I understand is y'all have horrible timing when it comes to having babies.
Yeah.
As far as
he was born October 15th, so that's kind of our issue.
You didn't get to make one of those years.
We had his 1-year birthday as soon as I got back from Vegas. So it worked out. We'll see.
That's awesome, man. I'm very happy that a little Whit came out healthy, and definitely those priorities in place. Lou, when it comes to what you're looking forward to this year. I mean, you're going up with your team, and have y'all been playing a lot of ball with this? With all this situation, have y'all been able to play over there?
I think the DEA opener was the last one before, at least on the West Coast, before everything got canceled. And I know we're supposed to meet up a couple of times for BP. Last weekend actually was the last time, but then a few of the guys actually. About half the guys got deployed to downtown for all the messes going on. So no, we haven't been able to get out there, but hopefully we're keeping our fingers crossed for the West Coast Championship. We're all eager to get out there and like you were saying, the whole family environment. Like you just said, I love having the family out there. And, our team is all super family oriented. We do a lot of stuff outside the softball field, which is I'm sure you guys do as well. And it's nice to be able to just transfer that to the ball field, and you don't have to worry about your kid walking around. Where a regular tournament, if you leave your bag, it's gone. And at the baseball tournament, at the police softball, it's like I forgot my bat and my ball and everything for like 2 days. And I'm like, oh shit!
I
hung out at the bar too long, and I forgot all my crap. But, it's nice to be able to not worry about any issues. There's no drama. I've been at tournaments out here. One of the big league dreams, they actually stopped having adult tournaments for that reason. Too many fights, too many brawls. I just want to worry about playing with my kid at the playground. Not fighting, or trying to fight me or jumping over, or throwing chairs, and then your kid gets hurt, your wife gets hurt. That's what I love about police softball. And if somebody does matter, I'm sure there's been a couple times somebody's going to check them before it escalates. So that's nice to know and to have.
Yeah, there's definitely it's I love being in an environment where I don't have to worry about, my stance on opinions as far as like what we do and things of that. So, I mean, everybody pretty much is on the same page, and that's it's a wonderful feeling. Softball's my therapy, and being able to be out there with all the guys are awesome. Got Micah Hall says, Micah Hull always brought my family to tourneys except Vegas. And he starts laughing. Yeah. Trip, my boy, he says, Vegas is fun. It's a common misconception that it's not a family environment, but the tournament and the atmosphere, in the daytime at least, is very fun. So, they really enjoy going out there for Vegas. Terry Dugan says, Toys for Tots. I get a high on all the Toys for Tots. I get a high on all the weed being smoked. Love beating those Civi conference teams.
That's why you got to love Big T, man. He tells it how it is. But that's so true, man. That Toys for Tots tournament, you couldn't walk 10 feet without, smelling all different stuff.
It's kind of cool because here in our local tournaments, I mean, a lot of our players have been playing ball for a very long time, and a lot of them even before they became police officers. So when we go out, it's kind of cool because, there are those times, especially if it goes into a later night and, the drinks start flowing and things like that. They all know who we are, but it's really cool that we have a ton of respect for who we are, how we act. I make it a point that whenever we're in civilian tournaments, look, man, we're not talking noise. We're letting our gloves and our sticks do the talking for us. We're gonna be aware, but man, we gotta know showing up. This isn't what it's about, man. We're getting our work in. We're doing our thing. And I even go as far as at times to, just no LE stuff, man. We're just wearing whatever you got, and let's just go and just, play ball. And I think that people respect that about us, that we don't go out necessarily. Not saying that there's anything wrong with it, but we're very, very particular with where we might wear our some LE stuff. But most of it is just wear what you got. We make another name up and we go out and we play. And I found that those teams, they know us, but they respect that we're not out there putting it in their face. You know what I mean? So
and it's sad that you have to do that these days and times, but it's understandable. But that's a completely different subject.
Yeah, no joke. Well, let me tell you guys. Let me ask you real quick. What's up, Manny? That's my picture right there with my boy Johnny. Those two, man. I'll tell you what. I love my team because I love winning with my team. You know what I mean? It's when you that's what I'm talking about. They're my boys. Man, when you win with the ups and the downs and the showing up to tournaments and you've only got 10 and 10 or 11 and and you go through those ups and downs of 2 in a queue every once in a while, and then you show up and you win one like that, man, it's awesome. And I know you guys are very passionate about the teams that you play for, and I'll tell you, man, I can't wait for October. I mean, I'm itching. This has been I let as a coach, after Vegas is over, I let the guys have a break because the wives need them back, the families need them back, and so it's like all games are off here and there. If we find something that we can participate in to support a worthy cause, okay. But for the most part, our season doesn't start till like March or April. But we're at least getting together and practicing. But even that is difficult right now. So, Corey, I know I asked Lou earlier, have you guys been able to get together and play or do anything?
No, the East Coast is still shut down. They're trying to get something for this coming weekend, and it's still not opened up anywhere. And, we've even tried to find, like you said, some Civi time. There's the boys from 27.
God bless it. Those some big dudes.
Yeah, we call it cornbread fed, man.
As I was telling everybody earlier, man, I'll never forget going to Vegas for the first time and walking into that players party and just staring up at everybody. And we were just looking at each other like, holy smokes, man. It's going to be a ton of hustle and a ton of base hits because these guys definitely can hit the long ball.
Trini, do you know Clausen that we were talking about earlier?
I do.
Okay, so you can pick him out in that picture.
Yep. Oh man, that's crazy.
He's beside me.
So how tall are you?
I'm like I don't know, 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah. And what do you weigh?
I'm right at around 215, 220.
God blasted that dude, man. Holy smokes.
He's a monster, man.
So bring that picture back up. I don't know his name, but just next to him, it's the guy that he rivals my hair. When my hair was at the top of my game, that dude is, I mean, what's his name?
Kevin Nichols.
Oh, okay, Kevin, man. That dude's a sharp dude, man. He's a sharp dude and a hell of a player, too. Yeah, I remember. I love all those dudes on that team, man. They're all a bunch of cool dudes. So, hey, we're getting close to wrapping it up. Let me ask you, man. Let me give you an environment or an opportunity to just, leave us with some final thoughts on the circuit, maybe some final thoughts on, what you'd like to leave some people with as far as, maybe who are considering coming out to our tournament or even some local tournaments in law enforcement ball. Maybe they're just kind of like, I don't know, man. What would you say to them?
Yeah, reach out. If you don't know the website, policesoftball.com, you can get in touch with anybody you want to on it. If you're thinking about, putting a team into the police softball circuit, don't hesitate. Take the chance. I didn't know anything about it, when I first got involved. A guy saw me at a local benefit tournament for a deputy that had been killed in the line of duty, and he was like, "Hey man, why don't you come play police softball?" I was like, "What is that?" I've never heard of it. And I come out for one tournament, been hooked ever since. So, like I said, if you're thinking about coming out, try a local tournament, see how you like it. Get your team ready because there's some stacked teams out here, and Vegas is the big one. If you can make it out there, it's one of a kind, but it's special. And I don't know if I got a chance to talk or not.
You do,
but everybody be safe, man. It's crazy times out there. That's most important. Come home to your family. Do what you got to do. Softball's secondary, but be careful out there, and I appreciate it.
Lou.
Me personally, same thing. Like Corey said, I like we were talking before we actually went live, and I didn't really believe in I didn't know cops could play softball. And one of my buddies, one of my coworkers, was like, "Hey, just come out once," and I was like, "I don't know." He brought me out, and I got hooked since. And I kind of just left the regular civilian ball and then started playing just police softball. Eventually, my department has a team. They would play, and they'd play more locally in a tournament and county tournaments. And finally, they came on last year, and they love it as well. There's all like I think you said last week when you're talking to the guys. There's all levels. I mean, you don't have to worry about having a stacked team. You can come at any level, and you're gonna have fun, and you're not gonna go home without having a good time. You're gonna come have a good time. It's a good de-stressor. You don't have to worry about getting into no crap like a regular tournament. And you can, like I said, it's the environment. And whether you choose to take your family or not, it's still a family environment. So you ain't gotta worry about no drama. I'd welcome any team, anytime. And just come out and get some, especially with the times and everything that's been going on the last few months. It's definitely a good way to relieve the stress and like you said, therapy. I cut down playing regular ball for a few reasons, but I focus on police softball, and that's the best form of therapy for me. That and the gym, and that's it. And just getting out there and hanging out with guys that hear stories, and when you feel you had it bad or you had a bad long day at work, and you talk to somebody from the East Coast or from the South, and they had a worse day, and then it's kind of your own therapy, and you have your own like a therapist there. You share stories and help each other out, and you actually make good friends. I never thought I'd have friends in the East Coast, and you see them. I would see them once a year, and when I see them, it's like we were just there at the bar the last week, and it's awesome. I love that. It's so cool, and the camaraderie is just second to none. And even within your own teams, the team DEA combo guys are amazing. They're family, and they introduce you to other people, and you don't want to steer away from that. It's almost like you said, you're itching to go to Vegas, but that's in October. That's too long from now.
Yeah.
I just had my wife just had my son 10 days ago, and
all right, man, congratulations.
This day to go do BP, but it got canceled. I'm like, if it's on this weekend, I'm going.
We've had those discussions too with me and my wife, and it's been cool. She's really understood through all these years, and I really appreciate her for that because it's a huge part of my life, man. So yeah, that's neat. Hey, listen, Have you guys ever heard of a Chris Vector?
Chris.
Yeah, let's show that up. Let's show that on the screen. So this thing is a Chris Vector. It's a 45. Man, this thing is awesome. And I want to let everybody know you get an opportunity to win this thing if you head to our YouTube channel. You subscribe to the channel. You turn on the notifications. There's a little bell to the right of the subscription. You hit subscribe. There's a little notification bell on the right side. You'll hit the top bell, and that'll let you know when all the the episodes are coming out. And if you just share it, if you share it with 10 of your friends or family, and you get an opportunity to be registered for this Chris Vector, man. It's an awesome gun. So I had a little fun with that one picture.
That's Look, I saw a good video. I think it was on your channel on YouTube. I think Police Softball might have made it. I don't know who made it. The Good Cop,
Bad Cop.
Oh man,
and that is an awesome video. You were talking about that the therapy. You hit on that, Lou. And, that's a great video. I watched it again today, man. You get chill bumps every time. Every word of it is so true, man. It's they talk about it. Just swinging the bat and sliding. It's crazy to think about, but it is such a stress reliever, man. To get you outside of your normal everyday. Looking over your shoulder constantly, wondering, what's going to happen, and just to get out there and be able to relax and play a little bit of ball, man. That's the top of the line video for sure.
Yeah, listen, man, on that one, Matt Gonzalez, a buddy of mine, he was the one who we talked about it, and he wanted to go to Vegas. I talked to him about the tournament, and I asked Jeff and Dale for permission, and they allowed it. And so when he went up, man, I was just ultimately blown. I was just so blown away. Because I knew what the message was going to be about, and it was making people aware of why we do this and why it's so important to us. But man, when it was all put together in the end, man, it tears me apart to think about officers who, have so much going on in their mind, like I talked about in that video, and they just, they can't cope. And that's a part of the purpose of this Keepers of the Peace First Responders Conference, is that I want to try to give people a way of thinking outside of their own way of thinking. We're so used to having answers for everybody. We're so used to providing for everyone and being the rock for so many people. And sometimes we don't have answers for ourselves, or tactics or ways of thinking that work for us on the streets. They don't work at home. And, so this conference is going to really give a lot of people an opportunity to find out about people like Les Brown, Alan Watts, Tony Robbins, these people that really help me deal with the struggles that life throws your way. And so that video was important, because another part of that video that meant so much was I thought I was doing a really good job of like dieting or something. And it wasn't until I watched that video, actually it wasn't too long ago, that my daughter said, that's right before you had your first bout with cancer. And I looked at it again, and I realized how thin I was. And that was just a couple of months before my first diagnosis. And so that video in particular really, really struck home with me when it was all said and done. And I've had tons of great comments on the message. And there's a lot of people who aren't police officers who watch that video and say, man, I had no idea. So I really thank Dell and Jeff and everyone that allowed it to happen, and to, that it turned out so well. Yeah, man. So hey,
Trini, you keep fighting your fight, man. We're all here fighting it with you, man. We love you and we support you. You've done a hell of a job. But, you keep fighting your fight, brother.
And you know what, Trini, thank you for letting us in. I followed you when I started following you. I think I was at the 2 years ago World Series, where you went to your doctor and you and your wife, I think. That hit home, man. That was
awesome.
I was following that. I was like, man, it kind of gives you perspective. But at the same time, it is, you're an inspiration, and we appreciate, one, you're doing this, and two, everything you do outside of this. It's really inspiring. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And I'll tell you that I do not take your words lightly. It means a lot to me, and everybody that has sent me messages and emails and all in support, my police softball family, and just everybody that has reached out to me. It really does give me the fuel to look beyond these odds that the American Cancer Society says that I have, and so you guys give me that opportunity to push and when you find something that's bigger than yourself, when you find a cause that's greater than your own, that's what you need a lot of times to be able to get you through some of the rough spots in life, some of the difficult challenges. And I kid you not when I say this very sincerely. The words mean a ton to me. I do not take it lightly. And so thank you very much for those words. And I'll take this opportunity to thank my family for all of their support in everything that I'm doing. So I appreciate it, man. I'm excited to be able to see you guys in October. Make sure that you stay safe and you be smart out there, safe as you can. And man, thank you guys again for joining us. Corey, Lou, we appreciate it.
We'll see you.
Yeah, man. Thank you. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, that wraps up another episode of the Police Softball Podcast. Again, tune in that next week next week's episode, because we'll have the ability to have you call in. So we'll actually be able to hear your voice. You'll be able to ask real-time questions, real-time comments. And I'm looking forward to it. We've got a great show coming up. I don't like to give it away too early, but I will make that announcement here soon. I want to remind you about our Keepers of the Peace podcast. And I want to remind you to please subscribe to Trini Trinidad. That's my channel on YouTube. I'm not that well known yet, so you can't just enter, I don't believe. You can enter me in, but this is how you can do it. If you enter my name, you hit the filter, you hit the channel under type. You find my mug on there that my wife took a picture while we're on vacation. You subscribe, you hit that notification bell on the right side, hit the top one. And it's that easy. Share it. And I promise you that I'll do everything I can to provide value to you, turning my struggles into a gift for you. So on that note, everybody stay safe. Really appreciate you all first responders again for being out there and doing what you do. We'll tune in next time. Remember, I got your 6, man.